In this video, I'll show you quickly how to install a push button from the inside of the car to open up the bonnet and the window on a Peugeot Rifter GT line. So first thing that you're going to want to do is get a trim removal tool set, so you can remove the plastic trim, and then you're going to want to get some replacement plastic clips that you can get from eBay. So these things, because in my case, like a few of them broke, so they're these things here that hold the trim together. And then you probably want to, if you want to do any insulation on the back of the tailgate, you'd want to do that before you start fiddling with all the wires, because then you have to work around all this. And for insulation, this is not really a camper van, but we do want to spend some nights in it, so we just used what we had at home. So we have 2mm CCF foam that we glued onto the back of some reflectix. So we stuck that onto the metal part of the tailgate, and then we used some polyester and organic cotton stuff to fill the gaps. And then here, where the locking latch mechanism is for the tailgate, I put a bit of reflectix here, just so no loose fibers get stuck in the actual mechanical part if this thing dislodges or just wears over time. So hopefully that will stop it from breaking at some point. And then here you've got, so if you look on the outside as well, you'll be able to locate exactly which switch is for which. So this one here is for the window, and this one here is for the whole tailgate. And then what you can do is you can buy a push button from eBay. So this only works when you press it. This is what it looks like from the other side. I've applied some lock thread here so it doesn't come undone. And then you basically end up splicing into this wire, which I'll show you how to do in the next step. And then you can use the outside button as well as the inside one. And then what we thought was quite important is to get like a button which is quite flush, because we might have the dog in the boot, we might have some cargo. You wouldn't want it to accidentally push the button and lift the tailgate. There is a lock while you're driving, but for example, like when you're stuck in traffic or something, just a bit of safety. So let's see if this works. So you push this, and then you can open the window. So you're going to want to drill yourself a hole that's going to cover the thread but not the head of the button. Then you thread your two cables through. When you choose your hole location, we kind of got lucky, but make sure that it's not on these ridges, like we got ever so slightly too close. But make sure that you're not drilling here, so you can tighten the nut. Okay, so you can pull this through. And then when you get the buttons, you can just fit your wire through the little hole. We've soldered it on so it's a bit more secure as well. And then you've got your heat shrink and the insulated tape, and I'll probably do some more turns of tape like around the heat shrink as well. Okay, so the first thing I've done is I've unplugged this cable, then I've cut it in half, and then I've exposed the wires. I've done the same on the switch side and on the original cable that goes to the car. And just to make sure that the button and this works, I've just wrapped them like around each other, so ground to ground and live to live, just to make sure that it does work. So we've tested it and it works. So now I'm going to put the original cable which leads to the button on the outside, and then the interior and the exterior should hopefully work. Oh, you got that one? Okay, so here I have I've joined the three grounds all together. I've got one of the lives just blanked out, so the 3 grounds are together. I'm going to put some solder on this so it's a bit more solid, and then it will be wrapped in heat shrink and insulated tape. And then once I've done this one, and this one is insulated, then I'll do the same for the live one. So these 3 grounds are soldered together and heat shrunk, and then these 3 I just put a bit of solder on, slightly bit too much, and then I'll put some heat shrink on this and finish it off and plug it back in. So just before I put everything back together, here are the buttons. We've tested them, both work. That's the other side, bit of a thread lock, and then you put this back together. We'll neaten those up so they're not hanging around loosely, and so they don't get stuck in things. But also like a 4-way junction, so we spliced into these main wires here. Okay, so this one is for the tailgate. Boom. And this one is for the window.